welcome to this week's episode of Guardians and Gladiators. I'm your host, Losey, and folks, we are getting closer to that big 100 episode. I can't wait for that when that comes up. This will be number 26 more left to go until we hit 24. When we hit 100, sorry. Last episode, we took a virtual trip to Albany, New York. This week, we're still on that side of the border to go for another virtual trip. This time to a place called Richmond Field, Minnesota. Where is that? We will find out exactly where this small town is in Minnesota. So with that, folks, here is my guest today from Special Olympics, Minnesota, David Booth. How are you?
Doing great, Chris. Enjoying the day, enjoying the warm sun. But you know what? That's what our mission of Special Olympics brings every day.
Yeah.
Warm and humility for all to enjoy.
So where is Richmond Field, Minnesota?
Actually, it's called Richfield.
Richfield.
It's a suburb. It's all right. It's a suburb of the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. It's on the southwest edge of the Twin Cities.
So is it like a much smaller city, or is it a town?
I would say it's more of a small city of 90,000 people. So,
well,
it's not as big as Bloomington.
We can call that a city.
I call it a town city because we don't really have any skyscrapers associated with the city. But yeah, we got quite a few people here.
So when did you get started in Special Olympics?
I got started in Special Olympics in June of 2018.
And what did you do at that time?
So I'm a big baseball fan. So shout out to my Minnesota Twins. I've always loved watching baseball since I was really young. So I decided to do softball. But my team, because they didn't know what my skill level was, had me do coach pitch softball. And I just did that, and as they say, the train left the station, and I do a multitude of sports now.
And what other sports do you do?
I do, as I said, softball, basketball, tennis, flag football, poly hockey, and snowshoeing.
What's pie hockey?
You know, you're like the 10,000th person that's asked me that question. It actually is. So it's a form of floor hockey. So the idea of floor hockey is you're basically running around a gym floor with no skates.
Yeah.
But it's basically regular hockey with a rubber puck instead of a, like a plastic puck, not a rubber puck. My bad.
So you guys didn't switch over to floorball?
No, we're hockey USA here in Minnesota. We do not want to do floorball. I've asked that question and they just, hey, we're a hockey state and we're going to stay with it. And I'm like, you know what? That makes sense.
Yeah. I know we had the ringette floor hockey for the longest time since it started back in 1969. And then to about a year now, we switched over to the floorball so we can keep up to the rest of the world here.
Yep. Yeah, it's probably going to take a long time before Minnesota wants to do that. But hey, that's what I love about this state. We're hockey proud always. Even if we like to beat up our Canadian friends sometimes, we love it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
We do it in love.
And you were telling me in some emails that you also sit on different committees, like the SONA committee, and you were on one of probably the biggest committees for U.S. Special Olympics you were part of the committee for the U.S. Summer Games that just happened. How is that?
It frankly, Chris, was incredible. And you're correct. I have served on multiple committees. Mainly, I co chaired the Athlete Advisory Council, which is a group of athlete leaders that leads different inputs and different suggestions and gets heavily involved in any initiative that the USA Games wish to implement for the USA Games. And I also serve on the USA Games Board of Directors and also the Special Olympics Minnesota Board of Directors. And to answer your other question, as I said earlier, the USA Games, which occurred a few weeks ago, was just incredible. The smiling faces, the competitions, and most importantly, the joy, whether in victory or defeat, was palpable. It really was an environment where humility shines on the field. And it was truly a tremendous honor to get to work with so many incredible people to help bring the humility of sport on that stage in our great state of Minnesota.
Were you also part of the games as an athlete, or just there to
No,
watch?
I was not there as an athlete. I was not picked for Team Minnesota, but I was there as both a fan, but also as an official and an ambassador who spoke about the event and spoke about the positivity that was palpable from our athletes to our volunteers to our regular referees to just everyone that was involved in the games and really kind of showcasing it to the world and inviting them to be a part of it. Because the key thing we wanted to tell people with this event is it's more than just sport, it's a humanitarian event. And none better was that than one of our athletes who I serve on a different committee with for Special Olympics International. She was an athlete from Colorado. And if you were aware, in Special Olympics, we have what's called the Healthy Athletes Program.
Yep, yep.
So, of course, this athlete was telling us how glad she was because she did swimming to winning a gold medal. But she also mentioned the other gold that she got was through Healthy Athletes, where she, for the first time in her life, got hearing aids. And she mentioned how when she walked out of that station and walked outside, she said it was the first time she ever heard birds singing.
That is amazing.
Like, it really is just an event that does way more and really showcases what you hear oftentimes modern media talk about sports. But our event delivered on that humility, on that gracefulness, and honestly, just the pure joy that sports brings in our society. And I always tell people, we as athletes want to have you there, but not just to watch us compete, but because you deserve to be included as well. We're grateful to have inclusion, but you deserve to be included too. That's what makes Special Olympics and the USA Games so incredible.
Yeah.
Is this is your time to shine just as much as we as athletes shine. We always had a saying, calling all champions for our games. Well, that doesn't just mean our incredible athletes, it's everyone. And
Yeah.
our event showcases your inner champion for the world to see.
As you watch it, as you watch the opening ceremonies, not as being an athlete, but like as a fan and being one of the speakers there, what was your emotions as everything was starting to start, and watching all the athletes walk in and looking at all the parents and stuff watching it from the grandstands, and what was the emotions were like?
Honestly, get back to me in a week. it's it truly, Chris, was just words cannot describe it except just joy. 4 years, 4 years of planning, 4 years of advocacy, 4 years of triumphs and some setbacks, all culminating in a collection of loving, humility, and most importantly, joy amongst everyone. My mom said it best when she said, it was a place of love. It was love and compassion for every single human being that was there. And I truly was just a loss for words. And I'm glad you mentioned earlier that I did have some parts of it. I didn't speak at opening ceremonies, but I was part of the flag bearer initiative. And I think I like to joke and say I broke the internet a little bit because there's a few photos circling around of me holding the flag up and carrying it, as some people would joke and say, you led the people to battle. But what makes that photo iconic for me is not me doing the action, but just seeing all the people that were in the picture: athletes, volunteers, fans. That's what makes it great for me, because it's everyone and not one. And I'm glad that I've had the opportunity to speak on behalf of that incredible mass of individuals, because I wish to speak for a greater world led by joy, togetherness, and inclusion, so that together we can build a world on unity and love for all.
Nice, nice. I know there was a lot of big celebrities around the U.S. games this year, like was it uh, the girl that sang, what's her name? Denny Ronaldo.
Oh, Demi Lovato.
Yeah, she put on a quite a good performance for the opening ceremonies, and there was a few WWE wrestlers and
and John Batiste.
who who plans all that? Who gets those
That's
people
led by
involved?
that's led by an incredible special events team. I can't I don't want to start naming names because it's not one person, it's
Yeah,
everyone on that team that does it. But I loved what they said when they brought these people in. They said they didn't just want to bring in talent, they wanted to find talent that embraced our mission and embraced what these games were. That to them was the criteria. And so what you saw from Demi Lovato and John Batiste and so many of our incredible celebrities is that they wanted to answer the call.
yeah,
They wanted to show why they are a champion. And it was just that just what makes all of that truly genuine. And that's what people get, whether it's at a local Special Olympics event or big USA games or a Canadian national games. You could just feel that the volunteers working it or the athletes competing, it's all genuine. That whatever you put down and whatever what money you invest in these types of events and the mission of Special Olympics, you can see the impact for yourself and really see your money speak loud and your donation and impact speak loud.
yeah. I know.
As they say, I just get finished and say, as they say, actions speak louder than words. Well, when you come to a Special Olympics event, you see that on full display.
Oh yes, I know that feeling. I know my first ever Canadian games, like our national games. I went to the Winter Games in 2024 with our ringette floor hockey team.
Congrats.
So
Oh, congratulations, man.
yeah, and we were walking in the to this to the Calgary Stampede Arena, where what that is like.
I think I remember seeing stuff on Facebook about this. And I also remember watching on YouTube some of this stuff. You guys are incredible. That's incredible, Chris.
Yeah. So there was
That's
so like from our provincial games and stuff, that I feel that when I walk in as an athlete to our provincial games, it like I know what to expect because I've been to many of them. But when I finally got the chance to be on Team Ontario's national floor hockey team, and walking through when they called, now here comes Team Ontario, I felt the goosebumps. It was like more 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 unexpected than the regular stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome to hear, Chris. And first of all, congratulations. How did you do?
We
If you
won.
don't mind me.
So our team from London, Ontario, where I'm from, we qualified for Team Ontario to be there, and we won the gold medal in the ring at floor hockey. So we were the last team in all of Canada to win the national championships for that, because after that we switched over to floorball. So yeah.
Congratulations on your gold medal. And hearing you talk about the goosebumps that you got from just walking in opening ceremonies and being a part of that event speaks a lot to me, because that's for us in a position of leadership. That's what we want. We want you and our other athletes to have that feeling and walk away that this was your moment.
Yeah.
This was your time. And most importantly, that you got a sense of appreciation, because you guys are the Incredibles. You guys are the inspiration. You guys showcase joy, humility, and the most competitive spirit that anybody in sport, if they took a second and realized it, would be envious of. And we see that, and it makes us level up to a new level that we didn't even think was possible for us in leadership. So I thank you for expressing that. And I thank you for being such an incredible inspiration, because without you, those Canadian games don't happen and the USA games don't happen. None of what happens and that is created by our incredible movement of Special Olympics is possible without you being you.
Yeah. Have you done any of the torch run events?
I was actually, thank you for that great question, Chris. I was actually part of the Law Enforcement International Conference in Minnesota last year, and I actually gave a speech. So then I did do the torch run that they had at that conference. And then I also did the torch run in Minneapolis at the Mall of America. I didn't get to run with the torch at that time. I got to run the one at the national conference, but it was still incredible to be a part of. But also, I made sure to make an effort to go out to Chicago when they lit the flame of hope for the USA Games. And it was just, I joked and said it felt like I got hit by a truck getting to see the flame light and begin its journey. And I'm like, oh man, this is how I'm going to feel now. What is the USA Games going to be like?
Yeah.
And yeah, that one at opening ceremonies felt like I got hit by a train.
have you have you ever seen or be a part of the polar plunge?
Oh yeah, many times. Like just, I joked with somebody because here in Minnesota, we actually have one of the most prolific polar plunge organizations out there. Like we have raised $6 million almost in polar plunge donations, because we are the land of 10,000 lakes, so we have 10,000 options to jump in.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I think I broke a record this year where I jumped in 3 times in the span of a day. I literally had to jump in once and then quickly change, jump in again, and then the next day I jumped again.
Wow.
But what was funny is 2 were legitimate jumps, but then it got so hot that the ice finally broke, and so then we had to run in and come back.
I have done This past March would have been my 8th year doing our polar plunge. Our my very first polar plunge, we have this big park in the middle of our city called Victoria Park. So throughout the winter, they would have a outdoor ice skating rink. So by the end, by the I think almost close to the end of the ice skating rink, we decided to have our polar plunge there that year, and it was
Nice.
plus 15 outside, so it was mild. People were people were skating in like t-shirts and stuff on the ice, and here we are.
I love it.
Here we are jumping in the pool of water, and then
That's great.
so that was one of the warmest times we did it. And then at the college we have here, one year we did it there, and it was minus 25, so it was cold. And about 30 minutes before everything started, we had a snow blizzard that was starting.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah. So halfway through, it was maybe every 5 or 6 jumpers, we had to stop because of the blizzard, and it got even more colder. The top of the pool started to ice, so they had to clean off the pool so nobody got hurt.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So when it was my turn to jump, then I jumped and said, "Now get me out of here."
Oh, dude. Yeah. We like to jump a lot at a place called Lake Nokomis, which is in Minneapolis. But when you describe that, it brings me back bad memories in a good way, of 2 years ago where it was so hot. Like you had they still made you jump in the lake, but they just put the platform out there and then you had to run back in the water, run while you're in the water back to the beach.
Yeah.
And it just so happened it was at least 20 miles per hour, if not 30-mile-per-hour winds. So like the flag was flapping like crazy. So even though it was decently warm, like probably 30, 40 degrees out, we were shivering in that wind. And I would say for the first time in my career doing polar plunges, which I've been doing it since 2022, I went into shock. I was starting to go into shock until someone helped me start moving, and then I got out. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
I know how you feel, Chris.
Like
I know how you feel.
The day we did it in the park, just because it was mild outside, still hitting that pool of water, I felt like the cold shock that you get, just kind of like, oh my goodness, it's still cold.
Oh yeah.
This
But
year,
you got to admit, those warm tents are pretty nice when you get to run into them.
yep. This year was a bit different. It was a bit mild outside, but we had a rainstorm, so it was downpouring, raining. Just as everything was starting. So when our speakers were talking and our Torch Run London director was talking and stuff, it was just pouring. I'm like, I don't like this. I'm already soaked and I haven't jumped yet.
Welcome to life.
Yeah.
But the power of Special Olympics empowers you. Power of Special Olympics empowers you.
Yeah. Where, so as an athlete, as you're an athlete too, how far from Minnesota have you traveled to compete in any kind of games?
Well, a lot of our state level competitions are within the Twin Cities region. The furthest I've ever traveled to for a competition in Minnesota is about, I would say, an hour, maybe an hour and a half, in a place called Taylor Falls. So and I do that for snowshoeing. But that's the farthest I've ever gone. Like I said, I have never been to a USA Games, and I've never been to a Worlds as an athlete, competing as an athlete.
Yeah. That's cool. I went to South Carolina in 2015 for the Sona Golf, my very first time.
Nice.
Yeah, and then 2024, I was in Wichita, Kansas for Sona's Golf there for my second time. That's
nice.
Those are probably my farthest travels besides going to the Canadian National Games in Calgary, Alberta.
You're a busy man, Chris. You're a busy man. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Love hearing this.
Yeah. So, when the time comes that you know you can't be an athlete no more, like when you're like you want to retire, let's retire from being an athlete and stuff. Will I can see this. Do you have it in your mind now that because you're going to retire from being an athlete to stay connected still somehow with Special Olympics?
Well, to be honest with you, Chris, I'm not even thinking about that because one, I'm 30, and two, our mission of Special Olympics is so inclusive that you could be in your 80s and still be competing.
Yeah.
I'll give you an awesome story from the USA Games. We had an athlete from Maryland who went to his first ever USA Games. And guess how old he was?
How old?
73.
Wow.
That is just crazy in my mind to think about. And your response is perfect too. You wouldn't think that. But yeah, no, that's how incredible our mission is and how inclusive it can be. So to kind of answer your question, what retirement looks like for me as an athlete is more of the stage I'm in my life for what sports. So right now I'm doing a lot of contact and team-based physical sports. So the basketballs, the softballs, the flag footballs of the world.
Yeah.
And floor hockey. But when I get to that point where I feel like I'm not able to play at the level that I want to feel like I can play at, and then I feel like I'm giving my best effort at, then I transition into those less contact sports. So sports like golf, bocce, pickleball, cornhole, I would transition into those and just kind of play out the rest of my Special Olympics career doing sports like that.
So you will slow it down.
That's what it looks
like. You will slow it down first and keep going, and then yeah.
Because as long as I can physically move, I'm going to try to play.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I've been. For me, I have thought about when the time comes for me, I would try to get on to our board of directors and stay connected through Special Olympics through that, and plus I have and I have this the podcast show and yeah.
But the thing is, yeah, and the thing is too, Chris, to remember is it's like just slow down with your sports. You don't need like I said, I'm on 2 boards and I'm doing 6 sports on top of that, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I'm doing all of that, but at the end of the day, the thing that's going to keep, at least for me, keep me motivated is just continuing to play sports. But I have to understand that it's going to look different than it is now. And I have to be accepting of that. Just knowing who you are, Chris, just talking with you, if you like you're going to do incredible work as you already have. You're almost up to 2,100 episodes, which is just
100 episodes. 100.
100 episodes.
Yeah.
My apologies.
That's okay.
I heard 21. That's my apologies. But 100 episodes, that's incredible, man. So wherever your path takes you, as I said before, and I'll say it again, you're an inspiration, and it's an inspiration created by our incredible movement. And it started by simply having a dream to go out there and play the games that you love.
Yeah. What would you say to the ones that sign up for Special Olympics for the first time? How would you? What would you say to encourage them to stick it out, to give them that extra little push?
I would say, welcome to an incredible journey. You're at the wheel. Whatever you want to make of it is your vision. You're at the wheel. Enjoy the ride.
Yeah. I think Special Olympics is probably one of the greatest organizations anybody could to sign up as athletes, volunteers, coaching. You know, it's one of those organizations that you can't really say no to.
Oh, absolutely, Chris. I always tell people this. You always hear, as I've said many times, love and compassion or no judgment. Special Olympics is all of that. And you notice that the minute you walk into a competition or at an event that is ran by Special Olympics. I'll never forget a friend of mine who is part of the LGBTQ community. And this friend walks in and watches me compete. And the words that come out of my friend's mouth is, "This is fun. I see fun, enjoy." And knowing how much hate is out there and the fact that that is not prevalent in Special Olympics is a testament to what our mission of inclusion truly creates.
Yeah.
Everyone is welcome. Everyone is allowed to showcase. And there is no requisite, there is no preset notions. As long as you have a disability or even not a disability, you are welcomed and you deserve inclusion. And that's what Special Olympics to me represents so well. No judgment, just pure inclusion.
Yeah. Yep. It's a good saying. What else? You have anything else to say? Just any questions you want to ask me or anything? Go ahead.
I would say, Chris, when are you going to come to Minnesota? We want to, well, you're a proud Canadian. We want you here. I want you here. When are you going to come over?
We will try to make a trip there. It'd be a good trip.
Well, we love you here in Minnesota. So whenever you can come by, come on by. And the last thing I just want to say is thank you. Thank you for being an inspiration. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. This is what the work I sacrifice for every day goes towards. Being able to rise you up as you've risen me, because no one should be left behind.
Yep.
We are inclusion and we prosper when we all rise together. So thank you so much for all that you do every single day.
Thank you.
And to all athletes for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you for getting the time to come on and tell your story and on what you do as an athlete and all the boards that you were on and stuff.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Chris, for the kind words.
You're welcome. Well, folks, another great episode here. It was good to hear how other countries and different places how they do their Special Olympics, and an incredible storytelling on how the U.S. Games came from the beginning of the 4 years to how it came a few weeks back, and it was just an incredible journey how that all started there. And again, thank you, David, for coming on. It was nice meeting you, and hopefully one day we can cross paths at a event that contains with Canada and US in Sona, or even at the World Games someday.
Hopefully, I would love that, Chris. I would love to be able to celebrate something like that with you and all the athletes by our collective sides.
Yeah.
Because we share joy together. So thank you.
You're welcome. On that note, folks, be kind, be safe. See you later.
Bye.